All right, everyone get ready, because today we are going deep on this book, Start With Why, by Simon Sinek.
Oh, yeah.
It's been, I don't know, like a total game changer for me, honestly.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So we're going to be talking all about the power of purpose, and this is relevant, I think, to like everyone, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Whether you're leading a team or launching a product or even just trying to figure out what you're doing with your life.
Absolutely. And I think it really gets to the heart of like what motivates us,
Sure.
what makes us tick.
Yeah.
And Sinek's big idea and kind of the core of this book is that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it.
Yes, and it's so true.
It's that gut feeling, that
Yeah.
sense of connection that we get when something just clicks with our beliefs and we're like, yes, I get it.
I'm seeing this everywhere now since I
Mhm.
read the book. It's like kind of changed how I view the world.
Yeah.
Think about the Wright brothers.
You're right.
They weren't the only ones trying to invent the airplane.
Right.
Right. They had this competitor, Samuel Pierpont Langley,
Mhm.
who was way better funded.
Yeah, much better funded.
Had like a team of geniuses working for him.
Uh-huh.
On paper, he should have won, hands down.
For sure.
But he didn't.
And it's so fascinating because you think about Langley and his focus was all about the what?
Yeah.
Building that flying
On
machine.
the machine itself.
But the Wright brothers, they were obsessed with the WHY, their belief that flight would change the world.
Uh-huh.
And ultimately, it was that deeper purpose that fueled their persistence and their creativity and led to their success.
Yeah, it's like their WHY gave them the stamina to keep going even when things got tough.
Exactly.
Which, inventing an airplane,
Yeah,
obviously things got tough.
big time.
Okay, so how does Sinek actually break down this concept of WHY?
Okay.
I know he has that whole golden circle thing.
Yes, the Golden Circle is his framework, really, for understanding how truly inspiring leaders and organizations think and act and communicate.
Okay.
It's 3 concentric circles with WHY at the center, and then how W, then what.
So most companies start with the what, right?
Right.
Like we make shoes,
Exactly.
and then maybe they explain how they make shoes differently or better.
Right, and they rarely get to the WHY,
Yeah.
the deeper purpose or belief that drives them to make shoes in the first place.
Uh-huh.
Think about Apple. They don't lead with, we make computers.
Right.
They lead with their WHY, challenging the status quo,
Yeah.
empowering individuals through technology.
And that's why people go crazy for Apple products, even if they're not always the best in terms of like specs or whatever.
Totally.
It's like Apple fans are buying into something bigger
You got it.
than just a gadget.
It taps into our need to belong, to be part of a tribe that shares our values.
Okay.
Remember that Dr. Seuss story about the Sneetches,
Oh, yeah.
who were obsessed with having stars on their bellies?
Yeah, they were willing to pay to fit in with the in-group.
Exactly. Same with brands. We're
Yeah.
drawn to brands that reflect our WHY because they make us feel like we belong.
Okay, I can totally see that.
Yeah.
But how do companies actually get people to buy into their WHY?
Okay.
Is it just about slick marketing?
Well, this is where the difference between manipulations and inspiration comes in.
Okay,
Manipulations are the short-term tactics to get people to buy.
got it.
Think discounts, limited time offers,
Huh.
playing on fears or insecurities.
I'm definitely guilty of falling for those. Like,
Yeah.
limited time offer, got to get it now.
Right, but those tactics, they don't build loyalty.
Right.
You end up with customers who are just chasing deals, not connecting with your brand on a deeper level.
So you need that deeper
They
connection.
need that WHY connection.
Huh?
Sinek uses the example of General Motors,
Okay.
offering all these cashback incentives
Oh, yeah?
in the auto industry.
Didn't he call them
Who did?
cashback junkies?
Cashback junkies, yes.
Like people who were hooked on the deals,
Yes,
but not actually loyal to GM.
exactly. Contrast that with a company like Southwest Airlines.
Uh-huh.
They consistently rank high in customer satisfaction, and their approach is all about putting employees first,
Yeah.
creating a culture of loyalty and fun.
And their employees always seem so happy.
Right.
I bet that translates into a better customer experience, too.
It does. It's a great example of the power of WHY in action.
Mm-hmm.
Southwest WHY connecting people, making flying affordable and enjoyable. It permeates their entire culture
Okay.
and influences everything they do.
So it's not just about talking the talk, it's about walking the walk.
You got it.
Actually embodying your WHY in every decision you make.
That's it.
But let's be real, isn't that hard to do, especially for big companies?
It is.
I mean, don't they get tempted to prioritize profits over purpose?
Absolutely. And that's where the concept of the split comes in,
Okay.
which Sinek dives into in the book.
Ooh, the split.
It's that crucial moment when companies start to lose sight of their WHY, often as they grow and become more successful.
Okay, we got to unpack that. It sounds a little ominous, like a relationship going sour or something.
Maybe not that dramatic, but yeah, it's about companies becoming so focused on what they do and how they do it that they lose touch with the WHY that made them special in the first place.
Okay, so they lose that original spark.
Yeah.
That made them unique.
I feel like this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
So tell me more about this split and what it means for companies.
It's like this, in the early days of a company, it's all about passion and purpose.
Yeah.
That WHY is front and center, driving every decision.
Right.
But as a company grows,
Yeah.
it gets more complex,
Yeah. For sure.
You've got shareholders to please.
Right.
Market pressures, maybe you're trying to scale really fast.
So it's like they get so caught up in all the day-to-day chaos that they forget
Yeah.
that original spark, that WHY that made them special.
Totally. And Sinek argues this is when companies start making decisions based on data and market research.
Alone rather than, gut feeling or their core purpose.
Yeah.
And while those things are important, they shouldn't override the WHY.
Right.
Right.
Didn't he give an example of this with Volkswagen?
He did, yeah.
I vaguely remember something about
Yeah.
a luxury car that flopped.
Volkswagen, the people's car company.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They launched this high-end sedan called the Phaeton.
Okay.
It was a beautifully engineered car, but it totally bombed.
Because it didn't align with their WHY?
Yeah.
It's like, wait, VW, you're supposed to be making affordable cars for everyone.
Exactly.
Not trying to compete with Mercedes.
You got it. It felt inauthentic. Like
Yeah.
they were chasing trends instead of staying true to that core purpose.
Right.
And that lack of authenticity, can really damage a brand's reputation.
Yeah, totally.
And erode customer trust.
This is making me think about how we make decisions in our own lives.
Oh, yeah.
Are we letting data or external pressures dictate our choices?
That's the question.
Or are we staying true to our own personal WHY?
That's such a great point. And Sinek actually offers a really practical tool for this.
Okay.
He calls it the celery test.
The celery test.
So imagine you're at the grocery store with your cart,
Okay.
right? And your WHY is to eat healthy, nourishing food.
Got it.
So as you're going through the aisles, you're asking yourself,
Okay.
does this align with my goal
Okay.
of eating healthy?
All right, so I'm skipping the chips
You're skipping the chips,
and sugary drinks.
the sugary drinks, yeah,
Focusing on fruits, veggies, lean proteins,
the good stuff.
the stuff that supports my WHY.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. And when you get to the checkout,
Yeah.
your cart is full of healthy choices.
I've passed the celery test.
You've passed the celery test, exactly.
I love that.
It's a simple but powerful way to check if your actions are aligned with your purpose.
I love that it's like a gut check for businesses.
Yeah.
Like before launching a new product or entering a new market,
Before you do anything,
ask, does this pass the celery test?
does it align with our WHY?
Exactly. Okay.
So to bring this back to preventing the split,
Okay.
Sinek emphasizes that it's crucial to have strong leaders
Yeah.
who embody the WHY and can rally everyone around it.
Right.
Think about someone like Steve Jobs,
Okay.
who not only innovated but also inspired, like a cult-like following
Right.
around Apple's mission.
Yeah. And when he left Apple
Yeah.
in the 80s, they really struggled.
Yeah, they lost their way.
They started making products that didn't feel like Apple anymore.
Exactly.
It wasn't until Jobs came back that they regained their magic.
It's a reminder that a leader's WHY can have a massive impact on a company's trajectory.
Totally.
Jobs was a master at weaving Apple's WHY, challenging the status quo, empowering individuals into every aspect of the company.
So it's not just about setting a good example.
Right.
It's about creating a culture, a system
Yes.
that reinforces the WHY,
Totally.
even as the company grows and faces new challenges.
Yeah, that.
But how do you actually DO that?
Right.
I mean, aside from having like a Steve Jobs level visionary at the helm.
Yeah. Well, Sinek talks about the importance of communication.
Yeah.
Finding ways to make your WHY tangible and relatable for everyone in the organization, not just the executives.
So not just putting your mission statement on a plaque in the lobby,
Exactly.
It's about bringing your WHY to life
Yeah.
in a way that resonates with employees,
That's it.
making them feel like they're part of something bigger.
It's about building a megaphone for your WHY,
Oh,
as Sinek puts it,
yeah.
a system of communication that amplifies your message and reaches everyone.
Okay, so we've talked about the split and how companies can avoid it.
Yeah.
But what about individuals?
Okay.
We all have our own personal WHYs, right?
Yes, we do.
How do we even begin to figure those out?
Well, that's where Sinek encourages us to look inward,
Okay.
to reflect on our experiences,
Right.
our values, the things that truly make us tick. He says to ask ourselves, what are we most proud of? What moments in our lives have felt most fulfilling?
Yeah.
What makes us feel truly alive?
So it's about connecting with those core values, those driving forces that have always been there.
Exactly.
Even if we haven't consciously articulated them. That's it.
And he stresses that your WHY has to be authentic.
Yeah.
It's something you genuinely believe in,
Right.
not something you force or fabricate.
Yeah.
It can't be a cheesy, generic mission statement.
Yeah.
It has to come from the heart.
So once we've figured out our WHY,
Yeah.
how do we actually bring it to life?
Okay.
How do we translate it into action?
This is where the H, how, W, and the what come in.
Okay.
The high W is about the actions you take, the strategies you use,
Uh-huh.
the systems you put in place to realize your WHY.
Got it.
The what is the tangible manifestation of your WHY.
Okay.
The work you do, the projects you pursue.
So it's about aligning your actions with your beliefs, making choices that are consistent with your purpose.
Exactly.
Okay. But how do you know if you've found the right HOW?
Right.
Is there a celery test for life choices?
Maybe not a literal celery test,
Okay.
but Sinek emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people,
Okay.
those who share your WHY
Uh-huh.
and can help you bring it to life.
Okay.
He calls these folks how-W types.
How types?
They're the doers, the builders,
Okay.
the ones who can take a vision and make it a reality.
So it's like having a brilliant architect
Yeah,
who designs this stunning building.
right.
But you also need those skilled engineers and
You
contractors
need the builders.
to actually build it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Finding those HOW types who are aligned with your WHY is essential
Okay.
for turning your vision into something tangible.
This is all so fascinating.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
It feels like Sinek is giving us a framework not just for success, but for a more fulfilling and meaningful life.
I think so too.
But I'm curious, does he share any specific examples
He does.
of people who are living their WHY in really powerful ways?
Yes, and one story that really stuck with me is about this guy, Ron Bruder,
Okay.
an entrepreneur who's applied his WHY across different industries and even continents.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting.
Yeah,
Let's dive into Ron Bruder's story
let's do it.
and see how he's using his WHY to make a real impact. So tell me about this Ron Bruder guy.
Yeah, so Ron Bruder's WHY is all about challenging the status quo.
Okay.
And finding alternative paths to success.
Okay.
It's about empowering people to see new possibilities,
Okay.
especially in places where traditional approaches have failed.
And he started out in real estate,
He
right?
did, yeah.
But not just any kind of real estate. He was drawn to
Yeah.
these things called brownfields.
Yes, brownfields. These are like these abandoned industrial sites,
Okay.
often contaminated, that most developers wouldn't touch
Right.
with a 10-foot pole.
They're seen as
Like,
liabilities, yeah.
yeah, full of environmental and legal risks.
But Bruder saw something different.
He did?
He saw potential
He saw the potential.
where others saw only problems.
Exactly. He had this deep belief that these blighted areas
Yeah.
could be transformed, not just physically, but also economically and socially.
Uh-huh.
He saw an opportunity to revitalize communities,
Okay.
create jobs, and improve the environment all at the same time.
So he wasn't just a developer.
No.
He was a visionary,
A visionary, yeah.
someone who saw the world through a different lens,
Absolutely.
guided by his WHY.
Guided by his WHY, yeah.
But brownfield redevelopment is notoriously difficult.
It is very difficult.
How did he actually pull it off?
Well, he knew that he couldn't do it alone, right?
Right.
He needed partners who shared his WHY
Mhm.
and who had the expertise to navigate the complexities of environmental remediation and redevelopment.
And he teamed up with experts
He did, yeah.
who can handle the HIW. It's like he had the vision, the WHY,
The WHY.
and then he found the people with the know-how to make it happen.
Exactly. He partnered with Dames and Moore, one of the biggest environmental engineering firms in the world.
Wow.
And together, they were able to secure funding and insurance, mitigating the risks that had scared off other developers.
It's amazing how a clear WHY
Yeah.
can attract the right people and resources.
It's like a magnet,
Yeah.
pulling in everything needed to make that vision a reality.
And the results speak for themselves.
They do.
Bruder's company, Brookhill,
Yeah,
became a leader in brownfield redevelopment,
absolutely.
transforming these once toxic sites into thriving communities.
It's amazing, isn't it?
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So he proved that his WHY-driven approach could work
Yeah.
in the challenging world of real estate.
Totally.
But then he shifted gears completely
He did, yeah.
and started focusing on youth unemployment in the Middle East.
Yeah.
What prompted that change?
So Bruder recognized that lack of opportunity, especially for young people, can fuel instability and conflict.
Okay.
He saw this connection between economic despair
Yeah.
and extremism.
It's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
When people feel like they have no hope, no future.
Yeah, they become more vulnerable to those radical ideologies.
Right.
And Bruder believed that by empowering young people
Okay.
with education, job training, entrepreneurial skills, he could help break that cycle and create a more stable and prosperous future.
Okay, so he applied his WHY,
He did.
finding alternative paths to success,
Yeah,
to a completely different context, a completely different set of challenges.
a whole different world, really.
Tell me about this foundation he started.
So he founded the Education for Employment Foundation, or EFE.
Right.
It operates across the Middle East,
Wow.
connecting young people with the skills and resources they need to find jobs and build careers.
And what's really interesting is that it's not just a traditional charity model. It's about empowering local leaders
Yeah.
and building sustainable solutions from within those communities.
That's key to his approach.
Yeah.
He understands that real change has to come from within. He can't be imposed from the outside.
So he's empowering a new generation
Yeah,
to create a better future for themselves and for their region.
absolutely.
Wow. Ron Bruder's story is such a powerful example of how a clear WHY
Yeah.
can drive incredible impact,
Incredible impact. Yeah.
even across vastly different fields.
Totally.
It's like his WHY acts as a compass, guiding him to make a difference in the world,
Yeah.
regardless of the specific industry or challenge.
It really highlights the adaptability of this framework.
Yeah.
It's not just about business.
Right.
It's about life, you know?
It's about connecting with your purpose
Exactly.
and using it to guide your decisions and actions no matter what you're doing or where you are.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This deep dive has been a total mind shift for me.
Yeah, it's powerful stuff.
It's like Sinek has given us a new way of looking at the world,
Yeah.
a new way of understanding what truly motivates people
Mm-hmm.
and drives lasting success.
I agree.
The key takeaway from Start With, why is that purpose matters.
Purpose matters.
It's not enough to be good at something.
Yeah.
You have to have a reason for doing it, a WHY,
Yeah.
that fuels your passion and inspires others.
You got it.
And as we've seen through the examples in the book,
Yeah.
from the Wright brothers to Apple to Ron Bruder,
So many great examples.
that sense of purpose can be a powerful force for good.
Absolutely.
It can drive innovation, build loyalty, and create a ripple effect of positive change that extends far beyond ourselves.
It's true.
So if you're feeling lost or uninspired, if you're wondering what your next move should be,
Yeah.
start by asking yourself, why?
Why?
What do I truly believe in?
Big questions.
What impact do I want to make on the world?
Love it.
Those are powerful questions, and I think that's a perfect place to leave our listeners today.
I agree.
Go explore those questions. Yeah. Dig deep and see where your WHY leads you.
You might be surprised.
You might be surprised by what you discover.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep seeking, keep learning,
Keep learning.
and keep asking,
Why?
why